Hey y'all, it's Whitney here with Whitney Made It. And before I show you this amazing video, I first want to say thank you to all of you who have supported my business this far. Because if you're watching this video, that means that you bought some stencils from me. So I know a lot of you want to know what materials, the whole process. So in this video, that is what we will cover. So let's hop right into what we need to create the doormat, okay? So the first thing that you will need will be a can of black flex seal. Okay. Now, black flex seal is what I use. So, like you watch a video of mine, this is what the black is. If anything is in black, I did it with black flex seal. Okay. Let's get a little close. You will need some paint brushes in the event that you choose to use acrylic paint because you want something other than black. You want to do your design in pink, white, purple. You need some paint brushes. I get these from Walmart. Michaels do have a pack, but like the handle part down here will be in black. You will also need some sealant. These are the two sealants that I use. This is the Gorilla Waterproof Patch and Seal, and then the Krylon UV Resistant Spray. You don't need both. You need one or the other. This one is my favorite, and you can find this one at Michaels. Okay, moving right along. This is your acrylic paint. This one is Walmart brand. This one is Michaels brand. You can get it from either place. You can even go to Hobby Lobby and get you some acrylic paint. Just make sure that it says exterior. That's the main thing. You will need some painter's tape. And you will also need Loctite spread adhesive. This will allow your stencil to adhere to your doormat. Okay. And then you will also need you a blank doormat. You can get your doormats from Walmart, Home Depot, Hobby Lobby, IKEA, Target, wherever you prefer. So that's it as far as what is needed. So now let's hop into the next part, which is taping the stencils together. You want to get your painter's tape and some scissors, and you want to tape them together basically. So once you open up your package, you'll notice in your stack that each stencil will come in 3 separate pieces. So you will have them all lined up on your table. You would put it together like so, just like that. So what I do is I get me a piece of painter's tape, put it on my table like so. I cut across to have me a strip here, and then I cut up about 5 times or so, 5 or 6 times to get me some strips, and I cut straight across. And I kind of just line my table up with a bunch of strips, and I'll use all of these strips to put on the front and back of my stencil. They don't have to be very thick, as you can see. I'm doing them, to me they thin, and sometimes I make them thinner. It just depends on what kind of design I'm working with. I try to get at least maybe 20 pieces. Sometimes you might need a little bit more. Sometimes you need a little less. It just all depends. And now I have my pieces of tape lined up across the table. And I feel like this just makes the process faster, at least to me, when I can just grab and apply that tape to the line once you have it lined up pretty good. And you just want to follow the line, leaving no gaps or spaces. If you leave spaces, that's how that flex seal can bleed through, and it'll create like a line wherever you didn't put the tape. Put one right there, up. Front and back. Go ahead and do this side. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, I'm not about to do all that. And you're just going to start tearing off strips. I mean, you can do that, but I do it sometimes if I'm in a rush. That's the only time I do it. I prefer this way because I know my lines, like I know my tape is basically going to fit my lines better, if that makes sense. Because sometimes you need skinny pieces like this, but then you break off a big chunk and then it goes into your letters, which is not what you want. Okay, I need a little bit right there. Trim it. Flip it over to the back. And you want to do the same thing to the back. Like so. Now for the back, I don't always fill it all the way in. As long as I got the front pretty good, I don't have to like put it at every single spot. I try to put it as close to the letters as I can when I do the back. So like close to letter as in like the M is here, right? The curve to the M. I'm putting it as close to here as possible. So I'm putting it as close as this to there. And then like right there, closest to the top. And I can just put one right there. And then like something like this would be perfect. Okay. So we got it taped together, front and back. And next will be the full process of when we actually make the doormat with the flex seal, the spread adhesive, and the sealant. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. This is a stencil that I've used before. I did want to show you guys that it is reusable. So this is one I will be using for this portion, okay? So the first thing we want to do, we want to flip it over to the back. And we want to get out our spread adhesive. And we want to spray starting from the right to the center to the left and then the whole thing. You'll see that I will be spraying quite a bit. Now I'm not soaking it, but I'm getting it wet enough where it would adhere to the doormat. I'm just going to do a really swift one over. And then I'm going to flip it over. You want to make sure that it is lined up as best as you can. Usually I would use my ruler, but because I see that the width is really touching the ends of the doormat, I don't really need to measure anything. Now, if your doormat came in, or well, I'm sorry, if your stencil came in some, then you would need to use your ruler to be able to measure each side to make sure that it is proportional, okay? Once you have it lined up perfectly, you want to flatten it out. You don't want to see any lifts anywhere. Just like that. Smooth it out. Like so. I'm moving it all over the table. But we just want to make sure that joker flat, because that is very important. Once you have it flattened out, you want to get your flex seal now. Okay? Shake it up. And just start spraying. Just like that, following the letters. Sometimes I do like 2 coats just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And that we don't see any of the brown peeking through the black, okay? That's also very important. Try to make sure you don't get any on the doormat. Like you see how I was kind of like that there. It's because I'm trying not to get it up there because I didn't put any tape there. But usually you want to have tape around the entire thing. If you know you're not going to really get it over there, then you don't really have to do that. But like if your design had came further out this way or this way, then you want to put tape, you know, around here too. And it would have been good if I had put some there, but I know I didn't get any on the doormat there, so we're good. So now I'm gonna let this dry for about 10 minutes or so.
A few moments later.
I will go ahead and use my sealant here now. I'm just gonna mist it. Now let's wait another 5 minutes and then we'll come back and remove it. Let's go ahead and remove this stencil now. And you do want to remove it slowly just so you won't get any of the flex seal back on the doormat. I'm going to put this stencil over here right quick just to get it out of my way. And one thing that I've been doing lately is using this ketchup bottle. I put acrylic paint in here instead of getting the flex seal and spraying it inside of the cap. I find it pretty easier to just use the acrylic in the bottle to fill in these spaces. So I'm just shaking it up, making sure it comes down to the bottom. And you want to be extremely careful because you can squeeze it and it'll splat out just like it did here. And it can make a little mistake. And sometimes people ask me, if I make a mistake, how can I go back and fix my mistake? And usually what I do, I go in with a, like a razor that we just use to shave with. I go in and I just trim it down. But people can probably tell that you probably went in and used that because it'll kind of mess the fibers up a little bit. But that's what I do. Other than that, there's not really much else. I mean, I've never used anything wet. I have used a paper towel before with some water on it, like instantly when I do it. But other than that, I would just say use the razor to just trim it down, or get you some scissors to snap off where you may have wasted some paint. But over there on that did, I mean, like, it's a big mistake, but at the same time, it isn't. Like, it isn't that big of a deal. I will show you at the end what it will look like so that you will see how it looks when I finish this all up. And I'll just let you continue watching as I fill these in. Now I have everything filled in. So this is it as far as the final process. And I'll get ready to show you what it looks like finished. This here is the final look of the doormat. Here's where that little splat happened at, but
Mistake.
it's okay. We're human. We all make mistakes.